All right, and so let's be careful. When you see a minus 80 here, all right, you take that. That's a negative 80. So you want to put that negative 80 in your calculator, not just 80, but negative 80. So let's do that together here. Go to y equals, we only have 10 of these, people, negative 80 divided by x. We're dividing by x because we want to see what two things we want to see all the pairs, excuse me, that add up to, that multiplied at negative 80. I'm going to catch that myself there. Let's go to the table. So I'm looking here, and I'm looking for two numbers that will add up to a positive 16. Well, I have positive and negative numbers, so I want the number to be a little bigger here. So let's just try some things out. Negative 1 plus 80, that's going to be a 79, all right? Look here, if I have a 1 plus a negative 8, that's a negative 79. So I'm kind of looking here where the numbers are more positive or bigger here. The absolute value of it is bigger. So 40 and 2, that'd be a 38. Oh, there it is right there. Move down. Here it is right here. I'm going to toggle that 20 plus negative 4. 20 plus negative 4 should give me a positive 16. I have to be careful because there's one here that would make a negative 16, right? So I want to be really careful where I'm looking, and I can always remember I can toggle back here. I can hit second quit and just do negative 4 plus 20, and that's my 16. And so my answer here is negative 4 and positive 20. We're going to use the same number of negative 80 as my factor here. So I have a different trinomial, but it has the same ending. So I'm going to keep this y equals here, and I'm going to look for two numbers that equal a negative 79. So go back to the table. Two numbers that equal a negative 79. So I want to have more negatives. So when I look and there it is right there. Negative 79. 1 plus negative 80 is going to be a negative 79. And I can always go back and check that on my calculator on the home screen. All right. And so I'm going to use over here a negative, where is it? Come on. Negative 80 and a positive 1. I could have those reversed. I could have plus 1 and negative 80. All right. And we have 4 more, people. This is a different number here, so let's put in a negative 28. Remember, you can just type over that 80 there. I'm going to type in my 28. Please do this with me. Doing it along with me will solidify it in your brain. That hand-eye coordination, that connection, that tactile practice of it will help. So I'm looking for factors of negative 28 that add up to a positive 12. So I'm going to go to the table, and I'm going to look for positives, more positives here. Where is it? So I've got a big 28 there. 28 plus negative 1 is a positive 27. Oh, here it is. And there it is, negative 2 plus a positive 14. And I can double check that. Negative 2 plus positive 14. Oh yeah, that's the 12. That's my middle number. And so I have negative 2 plus 14. Mm-hmm. Notice that every time you see a trinomial, you think, oh, I don't have a GCF. There's no x at the end. I'm going to put my parentheses with the x's there, and I'm going to put in my calculator. So let's do a negative 40. All right. So a negative 40, I'm just going to type over that 28, make my life easier here. I'm going to get my factor list, and I'm going to look for two numbers that equal a negative 6. Negative 6, negative 6, negative 6. And I'm telling you, you don't have to go far. I can see it on the screen now. Can you see it? I'm looking down where the negatives are on the right-hand side where they're bigger. And so I'm looking for where a negative and a positive would equal negative 6, more negatives. And do you see it? There it is. 4 and negative 10. 4 and negative 10. That equals a negative 6. And so that's my answer here. Negative 10. And I'm going to tell you this. the negative matters, all right? It's 10 and 4, but I need to have, when I add these together, they have to equal a -6. So I could not put a +10 and a -4. Make sense? Right, and let's do the last two. The last two are special cases, and I have these typed out here for you already. You will see them. They look like this: x squared minus 49. And you can say to yourself, that is a special case. It's called a difference of squares because x is a squared number and so is 49. There's nothing in the middle. This is technically a trinomial with a 0 in the middle. And so I wrote that out for you in your notes. And so we are going to do the same exact method. We're going to use -49 divided by x in our calculator, but we're going to look for two numbers that will cancel each other out. And the cool thing is that, I just have to type over the 0 for the 9 people. Do it with me. Do it with me. The cool thing is that when I'm typing in a negative number here, when I go to this table, one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative. Did you notice that when you were looking at the list? Even when it goes past 0, my negatives are the other numbers now. So I need two numbers that will add up to a 0. I don't see anything on my screen. I'm going to have to go a little farther, and this one's technically up or down. I'm going to go up just one here, and there it is, a -7 and a 7. And that's the beauty of these difference of squares. They are going to be direct opposites. They have to be direct opposites because they are going to cancel each other out. 7 plus -7 is equal to 0. And so if I multiplied this out, they'd cancel, and I'd just have the x squared and the -49. So the same thing goes for this very last one, -81. I bet some of you are already thinking about what it is. And so I'm just going to type over that 81. Doing it with me will help. And I'm going to go to the table. I'm looking for factors of -81 that add up to 0. And that's why we wrote that on the beginning of our notes. So do I see it on the screen? I don't. I can go up or down. It doesn't matter. I'm looking for two numbers that are going to be direct opposites because they have to cancel each other out. And it is right there, 9 and -9. You're never going to have to scroll very far, people. All right, and so my last answer here is 9 and -9. And so that was our study here on trinomials. I'm just going to go back here to our notes just to review. We're factoring things, and we note that they have an x squared at the beginning. They're just 3 parts, a trinomial, and there's no x at the end. There's no GCF. And I'm going to take the factors of the last number, and I get them through the list in my calculator that add up to the middle number. That is the sequence that we use. So thank you so much for taking notes and practicing these. Have a great day.